It's not kosher to clap on camera, so I'm just gonna air clap, but I'm doing this. Looks really freaking weird. For Nintendo Switch Online, getting an update in the way that I've been asking for. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Princess Peach says, welcome to my kingdom, where we actually make sure to add good new things. We got a big new Nintendo Switch Online game, and it's coming at the perfect time, but do not worry, this does not discount next week's Nintendo Direct. Still feel great about that. Plus, we got awesome news in terms of third-party ports coming to Nintendo Switch and more. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're ready for a fantastic weekend. It's going to be a long one because I'm going to be waiting for next Tuesday when that Direct gets announced. You can doubt me. You can doubt Nate Drake. I believe the guy. I played 4 Uncharted's. I know what he's all about. The moment of truth has finally arrived. Y'all have probably heard of Temu. You see them all over the internet. They're kind of everywhere. Now, Temu sells all sorts of things, all kinds of things, all sorts of categories, genres. Pretty much you think of it, they've got it. But I was curious how it really worked. I saw that I could get a Switch OLED from Temu for $320. And I thought that's pretty impressive and almost too good to be true. $30 off for no reason on a system Nintendo doesn't ever put on sale. Weird. And then Temu told me that they would give my viewers a Switch OLED for about $254. That is $100 off the retail price. And honestly, absolutely insane. After you use the special link in the description down below and apply the coupon, you're getting $100 off what Nintendo intends to charge. And no matter what anybody says about this deal or what anybody thinks about it, how could I not bring it to your attention? How could I not share this with you when you can upgrade or get fresh or just swap into an OLED for $254? Here's proof, $254 at checkout. Make sure to get this on your phone because then it'll easily transfer right to your app. Just click the link in the description down below and that $254 $100 discount is yours. But I'm curious. So I've got the actual order right here, and I want to find out with you live on camera if this actually is a real Switch OLED. Like, this is the one I ordered. You can see the orange packaging from Temu. Here it is. We're going to open it together, okay? It does look like it is a Hong Kong edition, which means one thing about this system. We've got the Joy-Con, official, actual. This is the real box. We've got the Switch screen. This is a real Switch. This is an actual Switch OLED. This is like the real deal thing. I am surprised, but gladly surprised that I got it. And then I got the real thing. And I had to test it out for you because there was no way I was going to tell you to go check something out that could end up biting you in the butt. You might be asking, like, does this play all the normal games? Is everything else going to work? Am I going to be okay? Should I be worried? No. Outside of the plug, the charger, everything else is the same because Nintendo Switch was made as a region-free console, meaning the Hong Kong version, the European version, the United States version, all the versions, the system is exactly the same. It's just the plug that is different. So make sure to click the link in the description down below every time you click it and just check out the offer. It does help support the channel, so I'd super appreciate it. And if you're looking for a Switch OLED, then you can follow through with the offer and get this. You can also download the Temu app on your iPhone or Android, and they have free shipping and free returns for 90 days. So if for some reason you don't like what you get, you can just send it back. And I love that no strings attached, no questions asked type of return policy. Big thumbs up from me. That's it. I'll put my hands down. Hands down. The best deal for Switch OLED. But let's kick it off with some GBA. I've been clamoring for GBA. I've been telling Nintendo, what are you doing? You announced Game Boy and Game Boy Advance for your Nintendo Switch Online, and it's a big deal. And you've peppered in slowly. They gave us Metroid Fusion. And then remember, they gave us 3 Mario Advance titles that were already on Nintendo Switch Online in different formats. But finally, we've got Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem dropping on next Friday. This is the first Fire Emblem game that was localized in the United States, despite it being the 7th entry in the franchise over in Japan. Now, I do have a bit of a bone to pick because Nintendo did kind of do something dirty to everybody outside of Japan, but I guess I understand it. Fire Emblem was released in 2003, I believe, and it's just called Fire Emblem, but it's actually Fire Emblem the Blazing Blade over in Japan. This game is our awakening get it, into Fire Emblem, and it is going to be a fun time. This is a very classic take on Fire Emblem, and while it will feel regressive compared to Fire Emblem Engage, it's nice that we're getting this, and for those of us who played this back in the day, I believe that I traded in some games at Game Rush, which was Hollywood Video's game department back in the era where video stores were super popular, to get this game. And I remember being like, wow. I felt like it was hard for my little kid hands on the Game Boy Advance. But what's interesting here is that, first of all, we had Fire Emblem Engage earlier this year. There's a lot of rumors of another Fire Emblem game kind of just sitting ready, already baked in the oven. And I feel like this is telling us like Nintendo is holding that till 2024. So if you were hoping for another Fire Emblem game getting announced soon, I don't think that happens. I'm not saying that it completely discounts the rumors or the scuttle that there is another Fire Emblem game, a remake coming, but I don't think we're going to get like a remake on top of this unless they're just prepping the waters. But what they're not prepping is giving us the 6th Fire Emblem game. You see, Fire Emblem The Binding Blade featuring Roy. Roy was my boy. Roy's our boy. And Roy gets to be on the Japanese NSEO. You see, this is the Fire Emblem game that the last one to never be localized in the United States or in English. It's a Japanese-only title. And it feels like this would have been a great opportunity for Nintendo to say, we're different. Like, you know, they put Star Fox 2 out on the SNES because, like, they're different. They can do something new. They can revitalize a game that was never meant to be. They could have done this with Binding Blade. They could have given us Binding Blade and Blazing Blade, Fire Emblem 6 and 7, kind of like Fire Emblem 1/2 and 1, 2 GBA games. Japan gets 2 GBA games. Everybody else just gets 1. I understand that localizing a full Fire Emblem game, which is chock full of dialogue and is typically a long experience given the SRPG nature, would be time consuming and cost money, but does Nintendo have a lot of that? Yes, they do. They don't have a ton of games coming, at least that we know about. But alas, this game will release next Friday, June 23rd. Interestingly, the same date as the shareholders call and after the rumored supposed Nintendo Direct on June 21st. Some people are saying like, oh, couldn't this have been something they saved for the Direct? But the Directs usually, in my experience, announce NSO stuff that is big announcements like a new console or a litany of games, like a list of announcements, right? Like N64 last September got like, hey, here's the 2022 and 2023 lineup, even though we don't have all of those games. One title like this has never really been the focal point of a Direct, so I don't think this says anything about a Direct at all. But what it does say is that, boom, The Legend of Zelda could be getting an announcement in the next Direct because there might be reprints of The Legend of Zelda amiibo, and that could coincide with new amiibo that were data mined for Tears of the Kingdom. Now, this is a stay tuned picture of the Bokoblin amiibo at Best Buy. Now, the Bokoblin amiibo is not currently for sale, but it says unavailable, but stay tuned. Now, it's interesting because this Bokoblin amiibo was completely washed from Best Buy's system, but has reappeared. And the Amiibo News Twitter account, which is not official, but tracks these sort of things, does believe that you should stay tuned, and this is indicating a re-release of Zelda amiibo. So a perfect opportunity to announce a re-release of Zelda amiibo would be at a Direct where you confirm new Zelda amiibo, possibly tied into a DLC package for a massive game that might have come out on May 12th. I don't know what it could be. But this is good news if you're hoping for more Tears of the Kingdom content, or you want to build out your amiibo wares. I feel like amiibo are kind of sad these days. I feel like they're toys that, you know how Woody feels when Buzz comes? Nothing really replaced amiibo, but these are all Woody. It kind of fits. Mortal Kombat 1 is coming to Nintendo Switch on September 19th, and nobody knows how, because everybody that played the game at Summer Game Fest said the presentation is incredible. How the freak are they going to make this work on Nintendo Switch? Well, the answer is NetherRealm isn't going to make it work on Nintendo Switch. In fact, they've directly admitted we don't work closely with the Switch version, which could sound like a terrible thing, and maybe doom and gloom, maybe a cloud version, but don't worry, don't hold your breath. Instead, they've got the good crew on it. Mortal Kombat 1 is going to be developed on the Switch by Shiver Entertainment, who did Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch, and that was a beautiful port, as well as assistance from Saber, Sabre, Joe, Gabe, the whole crew. No, Saber Interactive are best known for their Witcher 3 port, but they've also made a number of other Miracle ports work on Nintendo Switch. So the combination of Shiver, who did MK11, and Saber, who knows how to make games that shouldn't run on Switch, means that this is going to be a-okay. All of my fears are assuaged. I think it's funny that NetherRealm's lead system designer is like, yo, like, we don't know. I don't know. They do magic. He said that we've put it in people's hands who made the fantastic Mortal Kombat 11 and who have made other things work on Switch, and like, just trust him. Just trust him. And I trust him. I think they will deliver this to be a delicious title. I don't know how it's going to fit on a cartridge, but this is not going to be a cloud version. The fact that they have both Shiver and Saber working together, crossing their blades, means that this is going to be another Miracle port on Nintendo Switch and a fantastic release on September 19th for our hybrid console. Now, speaking of hybrid consoles, would you guys like to see any coverage of this? I really felt guilty about picking it up. I didn't need it, but I wanted to try it, and I really wanted to see, like, you know, what a handheld could be if it had superpowers. I just downloaded a ton of games. This is the Asus ROG Ally. Let me know if you'd like to see coverage on it. I know a lot of people have emulated a lot of stuff, a lot of people playing AAA games. I do really like this iridescent strip on the back. And the fact that the sticks feel way better than the Steam Deck. Anyhow, let me know if you'd like to see coverage on that on the channel. Get pumped for Fire Emblem. And again, when we come back next week, it's very likely that we have a Nintendo Direct to talk about. So let me know in the comments down below if you're pumped for Fire Emblem. Nintendo, you know, they release another GBA game. It's been very separated, stilted, but I have faith that they can continue going forward with at least every other month. They really should be doing it every month, but getting Fire Emblem is a good deal. We should have got both of them, but it's okay. I know localization is hard. Just, they could have thrown Saber on it. Saber could have done it. They do everything great with Switch ports. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Until next time, wonderful people. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.